nightmares.
Dad! A small voice rings out from upstairs. I thought we were past this stage. I think to myself, I thought he didn't have these terrors anymore. Go see to him, Lilith, my wife said without raising her eyes from what she was reading. Isn't it your turn? I quietly reply, already in the process of getting up. I know it's pointless to argue with her, and besides, I need to put an end to this. With a groan, I make my way upstairs along the corridor towards his room. The door is already open ajar to let the light in from the hallway. He still can't sleep in a completely dark room. With a sigh, I head into his room. He's curled up on the bed, quietly sobbing to himself. I lower myself down and sit beside him. It was the same dream again, Dad. A muffled sob from my son. Look, I've told you time and time again, they rarely go out at night. They only approach out of curiosity and attack because they are scared of you. Just stay clear of them. I repeat the same message. I've told him many times before. But Damien at school told me they creep in at night and take your face while you sleep to wear during one of their special days. And they kidnap us to put on a show for their entertainment, especially smaller ones like Mumph Mumph, the rest becoming inaudible as he buries his head further into his pillow. They're not going to steal your face or kidnap you, ass. Not with your big old pops around. I give him a little nudge. He sways to the side, then sways back, resting against me. And believe me, I'm going to be having a word with Damien's parents tomorrow. I rest a hand on his shoulder. You have nothing to be scared of. Okay, you are a late developer. We know this. But so was I at your age. And look at me now. I'm known all over. They say my name in hushed voices, and soon enough, they will be kept up at night, scared of you, too. I smile as his watery eyes appear above his pillow and meet mine. Besides, look at that. Your horns are coming in just fine. And is that the tips of wings I can see under your PJs? I nudge him again, but this time he nudges me back playfully. I let out another groan as I place my talons on my knees and stand. As I leave the room, I turn to him and smile. Good night, Azrael. Remember, humans are just as afraid of us as we are of them. This is not a confession. I have not committed any wrongdoings, nor do I have any remorse over my actions. I believe when the board has revised my report, they will see my work has been justified. The first subject was a 12-year-old boy living near the border. He was taken while he was asleep. We brought him to our facility in the desert where we began our project. Over the next 10 years, we would perform over 300 experiments. The subject's body was exposed to viral infections, which we would then treat. We also tested the limits of body modifications and organ removal. At the end of the 10-year period, the subject's body was left unrecognizable as human. Much of his skin has been removed by the skin infections. We had removed his vocal cords early on, as the screaming was harming his pH level. We transplanted various animal body parts throughout his body, but almost all failed. Eyes seemed to grow well in the stomach region, though. Disease caused them to mutilate, but it was a minor issue. Phase 1 was a success. New subjects were brought in. Subject 1's family was chosen. With 16 subjects, we had much more freedom. Extended sensory deprivation, radiation exposure, skin removal, face transplants, vivisection. Subject 15 was a highlight. Over the course of a year, we removed her hands, legs, eyes, tongue, teeth, nose, ears, one lung, digestive system, genitals, and skin. She would still respond to stimuli. We performed brain surgery on her 17 times till she stopped responding. Another highlight was her brother. Most subjects would lose regular mental capacity within a year. Subject 13 was an exception. He would not change his patterns nor submit to the experiments long after the others broke. The subject's treatment was genital removal, heavy trauma, and third-degree burns. He was interesting. 6 weeks later, I determined we had learned enough. We freed the subjects to return home. Subjects 1 through 8 died immediately from exposure to air. Subjects 9 to 12 disemboweled themselves. Subject 13 stared at me for a day. He killed his limbless sister before walking off into the trees. In conclusion, you can see there was no incompetency in my management of the Humanity Project. I recommend reopening the program and expanding it. A third phase, the widest, with a focus on eugenics and breeding over the course of multiple generations. Signed, Dr. Bobo. I discovered this document 2 months ago. I brought it to media attention, but within a week, the government shut me down. They called me a hoax. There is no such thing. There is no doctor named Bobo. There was never a Humanity Project. I thought it was a cover-up, but I changed my mind recently. People are seeing horrible things in the trees. Tall men peering at us over the trees. They grin at us. I wonder when the third phase will start. February 1st, 2019. There's a certain part of the year where a single child gets taken in my neighborhood. Police have been investigating this for 5 years, ever since the first child was abducted. I still remember those kids' names. Harry was the first victim. Aaron soon came missing a year later. Paul came after, and then Philip. This year's kid is yet to be discovered. There are many theories as to why kids have been missing. We live in a place where kids can easily get taken. It's a simple neighborhood with plenty of trees and parks, which is why it's understandable why killers and abductors usually pick this place as their spot. Many have claimed it to be the work of people harvesting kids' organs. It even goes as far as people believing in alien abduction. March 29th, 2019. Today's March 29, the day when a kid finally goes missing. Smart parents, of course, hide their children for the whole day to avoid them going missing. Newcomers, however, don't know about the event, and some don't believe in such stories. If you were a parent, you'd also not inform the newcomers of the stories so as to increase the likelihood of their kid getting taken instead. But boy, were they wrong. March 30th, 2019. Yvonne. That's the name of the kid that was taken yesterday. She belonged to Linda and Amanadiel, 2 great neighbors who lived here for 20 years. They had locked Yvonne up in the house, but sadly it didn't work. Police have been searching all day everywhere, and all the neighbors helped and looked everywhere, but they still couldn't find her. They disappoint. I guess I will be able to spell Happybirthday with those kids' name after all. All I need is 8 years more. Happy birthday to me. The whole pregnancy, I had dreams of how beautiful my baby would be. I imagined beautiful eyes and a button nose. Soft fuzz of hair I could brush back and pin. I secretly hoped for a little girl. When I heard the news that the baby would be a little girl, I became increasingly excited. I prepped my house for a little one. I even picked out her name, Rosie, a sweet little princess I'd dote on and cater to. I would dress her up every day and take her for strolls. Everyone would be jealous of how perfect we were. Rosie's father wasn't a very nice man. He was always drinking and smoking dirty cigarettes. He'd yell and leave almost every night to get pissed and gamble money away. He was not fit to be a parent. I loosened his brakes for Rosie's future. The smoking and stress couldn't be good for her development. She didn't need a man like that in her life anyways. I was all she'd need in the end. In the 9th month of pregnancy, I was sure that Rosie was getting close to being ready to be born. I was ready to meet my little girl. I knocked on the Johnsons' door, a fake smile plastered on my face. The young widow living there answered, her stomach full and stretched with beautiful Rosie. Mrs. Johnson had been running a pregnancy blog. I had been reading for these long few months, and it was finally time for me to make my move. Yes? Can I help you? I'm Stacy. We hooked up on the mom site, remember? I'm here to give you these baby toys you wanted. Her face seemed to light up at this. She looked around the corner as if trying to look for any danger. I gave her a reassuring smile. She sighed and let me inside. Thank you for coming. It's going to be hard raising this little one all on my own. My husband died in a tragic car accident not too long ago. I nodded along to her story like I hadn't known. Moving into her home, I slowly slid the scissors from my coat pocket.